Welcome back to Pilates by Brianna. Today's workout will be another intermediate level class, around 30-35 minutes. Those are my favorite. It will be full body, so we'll be working arms, legs, and a lot of core. Only equipment you need other than your reformer is your Pilates box. For the setup, we're going to be starting with footwork. I've been going heavier on my springs, so I have all my springs on. So for me, that's 3 heavy reds, 1 medium blue, and 1 light yellow. I have the foot bar up. I put the box in its position where we're going to be putting it later on or using it later on. It's kind of on a diagonal. It's touching the reformer, but on a diagonal because we'll be laying on it with our head down there. And I have that, if I'm looking at the foot bar, on the left-hand side of the reformer, okay? So go ahead, get your springs on, get your box in place, and then we will start laying down on our backs for footwork.
Go ahead and get comfortable on your backs, your choice of having the headrest up or down. And then you're going to put the toes on the bar and come into a Pilates V. So heels together, toes apart, toes on the bar, knees in line with the shoulders. And then on your exhale, you can press out, bring the inner thighs together. So straightening the knees, zipping up through the inner thighs, and controlling the carriage back into the stopper. Just getting a nice warm up through the legs. Almost there, we're going for about 10. We'll make this one the last one. And then when the carriage is in at the stopper, you could put the arches on the bar, feet will be parallel to one another, toes are curled, heels are heavy, and begin pressing out and in here. Again, going for about 10 repetitions. Spine is in neutral, steady breathing. I like to exhale as I press out, inhale back in, but whichever breathing pattern works for you. One more out and in here, and then slide the feet up so that way the heels are on the bar. And then initiating with the glutes, begin pressing out and in here. Have the feet flex towards you so the foot is flat, and using the heels to press into the bar to push the carriage out. One more. And bring the carriage in. Heels will go wide on the bar, hips externally rotated, so knees are wider than the shoulders, and then press the carriage out. As you press out, you're thinking of drawing the heels towards each other. The feet won't move, but just that sensation of drawing the heels towards one another to engage into the inner thighs a little bit. Last one here. When the carriage is in, bring the feet down so the toes are wide on the bar, hips still externally rotated. Press out, pause, lower both heels beneath the bars, raise both heels up, and then bring the carriage on in. So we'll press out, pause, we'll lower lift both heels nice and controlled, and bring the carriage back in. So that'll be the sequence. Going for about 10 repetitions. We'll make this one our last one. And then bring the carriage on in. Legs will drape over the bar. Arms will go up towards the ceiling. Nod the chin to the chest as you roll all the way up to a seated position for a spring change. We're going into single leg footwork, so you're going to take off one heavy red spring and then roll back down. We'll start with the right toes on the bar, left leg in tabletop, and begin pressing out and in here, feeling the work in the front of the right thigh. Hips are stable. And then bring the carriage in, and we're going to bring the left leg over the bar for bicycle. So now as you press out, that left knee will come in towards the chest and then back out over the bar. Getting a little bit of movement here, working the hip flexors and the obliques to stabilize. Last one. And now as you press out, we'll keep the left knee straight. It'll go straight up towards the ceiling and back over the bar as you bring the carriage on in. Last one. Bring the carriage in and we'll switch sides. Left toes on the bar, right leg in tabletop. Begin pressing out and in here, keeping that right leg in tabletop. And then when the carriage is in, we'll put the right foot over the bar for bicycle. So as you press out, bring that right knee in towards the chest and then control it back out over the bar, maintaining stability through the hips. Now as you press out, that right knee will stay straight and it'll go straight up towards the ceiling and then back over the bar as you bring the carriage on in. Almost there. Last one. Bring the carriage in. Heels will go hip distance on the bar. You're going to lower the headrest if it's up. Hands will go down by your side for bridging. You're going to use your exhale to tuck through the tailbone as you begin lifting the hips up off the carriage. Inhale at the top, exhale to roll on down. So nice and controlled. We're getting some movement in our sacrum and our pelvis, peeling the back up off the carriage, using our breath to keep the core engaged. This will be our last bridge like this. Bring the hips up, inhale at the top, exhale to roll back down. And then we're going to add on to that. So now you're going to lift the hips back up, find your bridge position, hold here. Straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep the knee straight as you lower that leg towards the bar and back up 5 times, trying to keep the hips level. So you're only going as far down with that right leg as you can, maintaining even hips. And then we'll bend that knee, put the foot back on the board or bar, lift up a little higher, straighten the left leg, and we've got 5 times with that left leg, down and up. And then we'll bend that left leg back in, foot will find the foot bar, and roll back down. You can hug the knees into the chest, gently rock side to side if that feels good for you. And then you can roll to one side, carefully come on up. We're going to take off all of our springs except for one heavy red springs, and then lower the foot bar on down. We're going to come into a primer set. So you're going to turn, so that way the right foot is going to be on the platform, left knee will be on the carriage, and both hands will be on the carriage. We're in a kneeling position. And then with that right leg, begin pressing the carriage out and in. It's on a light spring. We're just getting movement. We're working our hip mobility a bit, and then we will be working into the thoracic spine as well. So we're going for about 10 out and in here, engagement in the core to keep the spine straight. Next time, as we press out, we're going to stay out. You're going to lift that right hand up towards the ceiling as you follow it with your gaze, and then tap that hand back down. So we're getting some rotation, and you might feel a bit more of a stretch in that right inner thigh as well. Just opening up our chest, rolling our shoulders back, lifting up towards the ceiling. Now, as you come back in, we're going to add on thread the needle. So you'll open that hand up towards the ceiling. When you bring that right arm down, it's going underneath or behind the left hand into a thread the needle position. And then bring both hands to the carriage, bring the carriage in. And then just flip around so that way we're on the other side. Left foot will go on the platform. Both hands will go on the carriage. Right knee is on the carriage. and begin pressing out and in here with that left leg. Spine is straight. Next time you press out, stay out for our heart opener. You're going to reach that left hand up towards the ceiling as you follow it with your gaze, opening up the chest, and then tap that hand back down. So we're just nice opener here, rotating through that thoracic spine, the upper back, and tapping that hand back down. Now we're going to add in that thread the needle. So you'll open up, and when that left hand comes down, it'll go behind the right arm, reaching through for thread the needle. Last one, we'll open up the chest, and then both hands to the carriage and bring the carriage on in. We're going to sit in a mermaid position facing the shoulder block. So we'll have the left foot in and then the right foot will be out. We're going to reach across, pick up the right strap with your left hand, and then you're going to hold on to the tape with that left hand. Right hand will be on the shoulder block. You're going to reach down, getting a little stretch, and then restack the spine as you rotate, bending that left elbow for a row. So we're reaching across, feel a stretch in the hip, and then you're going to restack, bend the left elbow as you rotate towards the left. Last one. Find that stretch, and then restack, straighten out the right arm. We'll do the row with rotation again, so rotating, but then this time as you bring the carriage back in, we'll open up to the right and the right hand will go behind you for another chest opener. So I like to do a little pause in that stretch. And we should be feeling hip internal and external rotation as well. You can take the arm out of the strap, come on up to your knees, pick up both straps, cross the straps, and then we'll put the arms through the short loops, and the short loops will go right above the elbow. And we're going to come into goal post. You're going to bring the elbows out in front of you and then open up the arms, squeezing between the shoulder blades, pause, control it back in. So working our back body here. Core is engaged, you're reaching up tall through the crown of the head. Bring the shoulder blades together, opening up the arms. Again, maybe feeling a little stretch through the chest. On this next one, you're going to open up, pause, lift the chest up just a few degrees, and then back down. So trying not to get too much into the low back. It's more getting a little bit of extension into the upper back. So it's a small movement here. We're keeping the arms open for a nice isometric hold of the posterior muscles between the shoulder blades. And then bring the carriage in and take the arms out of the straps. We'll hold on to the short loops. Straps stay crossed for external rotation. Elbows will stay at your side. You're going to open up the arms, rotating around the elbow, and then close everything back in. Working our rotator cuff muscles. Last one here. And then pause. We're going to come to sit in Mermaid facing the other way. So we're still facing the shoulder blocks, but now the right foot will be in. And then the left strap will be in the right hand. Left hand will be on the shoulder block. Reach over towards that left side. And then as you restack the spine, you're rotating towards the right, bending that elbow. And then when the carriage comes in, you're letting the strap pull you diagonally a little bit, potentially getting a little stretch in that left glute area. Shoulders stay down away from the ears. Nice controlled motions here. And then restack the spine. Left hand will go out in front. We have the row with rotation. And then when the carriage is in at the stopper, we're going to open up to the left, and the left hand will reach behind towards the foot bar for another heart opener. Last one here. And then when the carriage is in, you can take the arm out of the strap, hang up that strap. We're going to do one more spring change. We're going to put on one medium blue spring, take off the heavy red, so we're left with one medium blue. And then come around to the other side of the reformer. We're going to lay on the box with the head down towards the foot bar. Hands will go behind the head. Left foot will go on the closed shoulder block, right leg in tabletop. Straighten the right leg out, and then as you pull the right knee in, you're going to press into the carriage with the left leg. So we're doing kind of like a single leg stretch here, just a different variation of it. So as you press the left leg out, the right knee will come in towards the chest. And as you straighten out the right leg, the carriage will come back in towards the stopper. We're staying in a chest lift the whole time. One more, and then next time the right leg comes in, we'll add in a twist, a rotation towards that right knee. So bringing the left elbow towards that right knee when the right knee comes in. But we're still doing the same thing with that left leg. It's still pressing the carriage out. We're going for about 10 here. Last one. And then you'll bring the right knee in, stretch out that left leg, and we'll go into bicycle. So we're going to straighten that right leg up towards the ceiling, lower it down, pull the knee in towards the chest. So a nice bicycle motion here with that right leg, staying lifted through the upper abdominals, head is heavy into the hands, and that left leg is still pressing that carriage out, and we're holding it there. So a nice fluid movement with that right leg, core is engaged. Last time through. And then you could bring the carriage in, grab hold behind your thighs, rock and roll your way up to sit or standing, and then turn around to face the machine. Right hand will go on the shoulder block, right leg is in front of the left, come down to a lunge. You're going to press up, and as you come into a standing position, you're going to hinge forward and press the carriage back with that right hand. So we're working that whole posterior chain. We're working around the right shoulder blade as well as the right glute. So coming into a lunge, using that glute to come up as you press the carriage back with your right hand. Two more. Last one. Good work. And then come all the way up. We're going to just change or move the box slightly to up against the reformer. Step up onto the box. We're going to do heel taps. You're going to put the right foot at the edge of the box. Left foot will be off the box. You're going to come into like a squat. Tap the left foot to the ground or as close as you can, and then use that right glute to come back up. Your choice of tapping the toes, or if you want to try tapping the heel, that'll be a little bit of a progression. So you're just lowering down, tapping part of that left foot towards the ground or on the ground, and then using that right glute to come back up. Last one here, nice and controlled. And then both feet will come up onto the box. We're going to go into another balance one. Right foot will stay on the box. Left knee will come up towards the chest. And then you're going to tip forward as that left leg goes behind you, keeping that right knee straight. And then come back to upright, and the right leg will go, or the left leg will go back out in front of you. Sorry. So the left leg is moving into that extension in the back, and that march in the front. And we're balancing on the right leg. Take your time with this. You can always put the foot down on the box if you need to as you're transitioning between the forward and the back movements. And we'll do one more here. Good work. You're going to turn away from the reformer. You're going to have the right foot facing the corner of the box, and the left foot, the side of the foot, will be against the shoulder block. You're going to squat down. As you press the carriage out, the left leg will stay straight, so you're bending into that right knee. So you're lunging down, using the inner thighs to bring the carriage all the way into the stopper. So we're feeling the outer right hip working, as well as the inner thighs to bring the carriage back in. On this next one, we're going to stay down and do little pulses, bringing the hips up an inch. Carriage will come in a little bit and then back out, feeling a lot of work in that right outer hip. Almost there, nice and controlled. And then bring the carriage all the way in and step on off the box. We have a chest set before doing the other side, but let's just bring the box into position. So we'll bring the box to the other side of the reformer. Again, it'll be on that diagonal to start, with the corner of the box closest to the shoulder blocks touching the reformer. And then you can come onto the reformer facing the foot bar. Kneeling, your feet will be up against the shoulder blocks, and pick up the straps. Come to a high kneeling position, have the elbows in line with the shoulders. Ropes are underneath the arms for a chest press. Bring the arms straight out in front of you, and then control the carriage back in. Stop with the elbows in line with the shoulder. I don't want you feeling a stretch in the front of the shoulders. So we're just pressing out and controlling it back in. After this one, you could rest the arms down. Next one we're going to do, arms will come straight out in front of us, palms facing one another. Bring the arms up a few inches and then back down to straight in front of us. So just up a few inches and then back down. Stabilizing through the shoulders. And we're still active around the shoulder blades as well. Last one, and then you can rest down the arms. And then the last thing we will do here is putting both of those together. So we'll start with the elbows bent in line with the shoulders, press out, pause, bring the arms up a few inches, back down, and then the elbows can come back in. So we're just combining that. We'll do a chest press, and then when the arms are straight, you're bringing it up a few inches, back down, and then bend the elbows back in. Last round here. And then you can hang up the straps. And we're going to come to lay on the box with the head down towards the foot bar. We'll have the right foot on the shoulder block. Hands will be behind the head. Kind of get comfortable here. Straighten that left leg out. And then as you press out with the carriage, that left knee will come in towards your chest. So we have our single leg stretch here. Keep lifting through the upper abdominals. Staying really strong here. head is heavy. And then we'll add in that rotation. So now as the left knee comes in, you'll rotate. So that way the right elbow is going towards that left knee. So we're just adding in a little upper rotation of that upper spine. Last one here. And then we'll press out that right leg, hold it out, and do a bicycle with that left leg. So the knee will come in towards the chest, up towards the ceiling, and then you'll keep the knee straight as you lower the leg down and back in towards the chest. So nice bicycle motion with that left leg. One more time around. And then when the left knee is in towards the chest, you can bring the carriage in, grab hold behind your thighs, rock and roll your way up to standing, and then turn and face the foot bar. We'll have the left leg forward, right leg back, come into a lunge position. And then as you come to standing, you're going to press back into the carriage with the left hand. So we're using that whole posterior chain. You're using your left glute to come back up to standing, as well as the left postural muscles around the shoulder and shoulder blade to press the carriage out. Last one. And then let the carriage come in, come on up. Just reposition the box so it's completely against the reformer. Come to stand on the box for our heel taps. So come to the edge of the box. Right foot will be next to the box. You're going to do like a squat position. So you're going to lower down, bending into the left knee. That right foot will tap the floor. And then use that left glute to come back up. You can either tap the floor with the right foot or the right heel, the right toes or the right heel. The right heel will be a little bit more challenging because you'll have to go deeper into that single leg squat. Spine is straight. You're sitting back so that way the knees stay over the toe. Last one. And then we have that second balance one coming up. So we'll stay standing on the left leg. You're going to bring the right knee up towards a march position. And then maintaining balance, you're going to hinge forward as you shoot that right leg back, nice and controlled. And then you'll come back into that march. So we're just rocking between that march position and that right leg extended position. We'll do about 5 here, trying to keep your balance on that left leg, but you can always tap the right foot to the box for some support if you need to. Last one here. And then you can put that foot down. You're going to turn away from the reformer. The left foot will be angled towards the corner of the box. The right foot will be up against the shoulder block, and the whole foot is flat on the carriage. Bend into the left knee as you press the carriage out for like a squat lunge type of position, and then use the inner thighs to bring the carriage all the way back into the stopper. So pressing carriage out, going as deep into that squat as you feel comfortable, and then using the inner thighs to bring the carriage back in. Next time you press out, you're going to stay out, and we'll pause here for little pulses. So you'll lower down an inch, up an inch, nice and controlled. We're not bouncing here. We're using our muscles to raise up an inch or 2 and then back down into that squat. Last one. And then bring the carriage all the way in. Come on off the box. We are done with the box, so I'm just kind of moving it out of my way. You're going to put the foot bar back up, and then we're going to go into feet and straps, so your feet and straps setting, so either one heavy red and one medium blue, or two heavy reds, whichever you prefer. And then you can come to lay on your back and put your feet in the long loops. Once both feet are in the straps, the legs will go up towards the ceiling. Inner thighs are zipped together. Keep the knees straight as you lower down towards the bar. Then bend the knees in towards the chest and raise it back up towards the ceiling. So we're doing a double leg bicycle. Keep the knees straight as you lower down. Then the knees will come back in towards the chest and then up towards the ceiling. So nice big bicycle motion here. One more in this direction. And then next time the legs are overhead, we'll pause and reverse. Bend the knees, use the glutes to press out over the bar, and then keep the legs straight as you bring them back to overhead. Bend the knees, use the glutes to press out, keep the knees straight as they go overhead. We'll do about 2 to 3 more here. Last time around. And then when the legs are overhead, you're going to bend the knees and we'll come into frog. Heels together, toes apart, knees wide. As you press out, the inner thighs will come back together to touch. And then bend the knees to bring the carriage back in. As you press out, inner thighs will come together to touch. You're maintaining that heel connection between both feet. Last one. And then when the legs are straight, they'll go back up to center. For our hip circles, you'll lower the legs down through center, circle them around away from each other and back up towards the ceiling. Bring them together and then lower them down through center. So big hip circles here, going as wide as you feel comfortable. One more time in this direction. And then when the legs are overhead, you could pause and reverse. Open them away from each other, around and down, and then they'll come together and back up through center. So a few more just in the opposite direction for those hip circles. Last time around. And then when the legs are overhead, we'll pause. You're going to bend the left leg, keep the right one straight. Grab a hold onto the strap of the right leg and pull that leg towards you for a hamstring and calf stretch. Have the foot flex towards you as well to feel it more in the calf. And then we'll switch. Bend the right knee, straighten out the left one overhead. Gentle pull on that left rope. Feel more of a stretch in the back of that left leg. And then bend both knees, bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees will go wide, and we'll finish with a butterfly stretch. You can press the legs out a little bit wider if you would like, or grab hold of the straps and pull the feet in towards you, whichever feels better for you. And then you can take the feet out of the straps, carefully come on in, and you are all set. Thank you for working out with me. I hope you enjoyed the workout. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.